Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Astrology and Beyond. Today, with your host, Tatiana, also broadcasting for ANN, Archetypal News Network. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and then share this video. I'm here to guide you, to help you. And I am having a Jupiter special today. So please check in my website. 33% off all of my readings. So whether you want to have your birth chart read and know what you're all about and we're here to do in this lifetime, or you'd like to know about a relationship and how that's coming together and what's working or not working and how to move past blockages, or if you're going through a tough time in your life, you want to understand, or if you're going to change careers and want some guidance, or just plain and simply some questions you have about life that I can help you guide you with. I am also an intuitive, so I can give my perspective from my knowledge, my awareness, and my connection with you. So that's me and all my offerings. So this month until the end of the month, 33% of all my readings. Okay, so we're going to jump now into the astrology of the second half of May. First half of May, I was busy with family things happening, so I couldn't be here with you, but I'm back. I'm back and very excited to share with you. Let me just find my presentation. Where is it? It just left. Where is this? Oh my goodness, I lost it. Here it is. Oh, right. So back to our presentation. Sorry about that. Zoom, a month away. It's like, ooh. All right. And on another note, we've been having a lot of those solar flares, and I don't know about you, but I've been feeling a lot of energy in my body. And we saw this beautiful aurora borealis here in Vancouver Island, where I am, and it was like spectacular. And this ties into the astrology because we're entering a lot of the Gemini energy, which is air. There's going to be so much emphasis in air, especially also next year, and this season, this this and Jupiter moving into Gemini, how I titled the video. It's kind of a big deal because Jupiter is going to be kind of front and center this next part of the month with its entry in Gemini. And also, it's a big time for expansion. It's a time for possibility. It's a time for connection, for understanding the unseen, the things that are subtle that we don't know about. This is the great time to start. We will be jumping into that. But first, there's more. Let's see a little bit of the overview. We have Mercury entering Taurus. So we still have a big chunk of Taurus energy happening. The sun entering Gemini. That's May 20th. Then we have the full moon in Sagittarius, and that's hosted by Jupiter. Venus entering Gemini. We have Jupiter entering Gemini. So you see, this is a lot of the new energy that's coming, and that's fast, big, moving, go. We'll see where it takes us. So let's look at our astrology for the beginning of this segment. We have May 15th, that's today. So you can see we still have a lot of Taurus energy. And who says Taurus says, what do we say? Yeah, we are grounded. We are body. We are sensual. We are slow. We are in the matter. We are in the physical. So it is very important, and this came to me it comes to me quite a bit when I speak from the beyond. This morning, I was literally getting this message that is so important to do these meditations that are connected to the body, not necessarily out in the hollow space, but more in what your body is telling you, the signals, the things your body has been telling you to address. So, for example, if you have a certain ailment, pain, or discomfort, Don't brush it off. Ask your body, take those 5 minutes to go, body, what is this about? And see what comes to you. Maybe a memory will pop up. Maybe there was something that happened during the week that you didn't process. So our body is this gigantic processor of emotions and energy constantly. And we sometimes don't really understand it. We just go more in the mind. Again, mind and body needs to be very connected in order for mind to flow through. And this is part of why this is a very important message. So this morning and most mornings, I do a little exercise that I would just recommend you do. It's a very simple, beautiful meditation where you connect yourself to your breath first. So you let the air in. You can visualize, if you want, light coming from your heart. Then you allow this energy to flow all through your being. And as you're doing that, you take your hands and you move them actually through your body, eyes closed. And you can actually talk to yourselves, talk to your body, and use this energy of Venus, which is Venus is the senses as well, is the pleasure. It's the pleasure of life. And then we have Uranus, and we have the sun, and we have Jupiter. Like all this is a big stellium, a big combo of expansion and love and pleasure and freedom and abundance. Like if we're not aligned with this, then what are we aligned with? This is what the divine wants for us, is to have a happy life, enjoyable here, now, in the planet, in body. So this is why I feel this is very important to do that every day, to reconnect to the body. This is also reconnecting to the feminine essence. Now we have still also quite the stellium here in Aries. Mercury is about to exit. So once Mercury moves into Taurus, then there's still going to be a lot of this Taurus energy present. We also have this time the possibility with the we have a we have a forming square of Pluto to Mercury. Once Mercury enters Taurus, we'll have the square that's starting to form. And this will speak of our mental obsessions and things that we need to kind of let go. We might be getting into a lot of mental stimulation that is not necessarily healthy. So I would recommend also to take the time to slow your mind, because when things move into Gemini, the mind will be very active again. So this is a time to maybe also look into, what are your thoughts doing? What do we think about during the day? What are the thoughts doing to your life? Are your thoughts coming from a loving place, or are you self-deprecating, or are you judging? Are you pointing fingers? What are we doing with our minds? Again, are we being aggressive and using aggressive speech? While Mercury is in Aries, we might fall into that, blame game. And to that effect, I would like to read something really beautiful that fellow healer friend of mine, Maggie Crowder, who is fantastic and phenomenal, in a workshop gave us the other day, which is the Four Noble Truths in Communication, which is a good time to address how we communicate and how we think. So I'm just going to briefly just say what it is, because I thought this piece of wisdom was it's amazing. And if it's not known, then, I'm here to communicate things and make things known as well. So it is what it is. This is the first principle of the Four Noble Truths of the Zens. It is what it is. What is what it is. It's the non-judgment of everything. Everything is what is. We can like it or not like it, and that's personal opinion. But in reality, when we release the judgment on things, that frees us so much. And I'm not going to go super in detail with this because I'm with the astrology, but I definitely want to present this as part of this upcoming square, because these tools are going to help you move through what your mental clutter can be doing, or what your desires or obsessions are about. the second one is positive regard. So this truth emphasizes the importance of holding others in positive regard, regardless of their behavior or differences in values and ideas. And again, this ties into it is what it is if we just accept people how they are, even if they're not in our own, they don't have the same opinions that we do, or even the same beliefs and perception of reality. But these are truths that if we live by them, will set us very free from the triggers and the anger, especially because when we have like all of this Aries energy is about, it can prompt the anger, and the incapacity to do things or to speak truth, and then we can become rage can come out, blame can come out, and that puts us on our third one, the blame game. This truth highlights the negative impact of blaming others and encourages individuals to take responsibility for their own actions and experiences. So this is very, very beautiful, because this is where the mind, Mercury, can help you see more you. What are your thoughts about people? What are your thoughts about your own experience? So we can take back responsibility for what we create with our words. Remember, our words are creative, and we live in a world where word and deed become manifestation in physical world. So what are we putting out there? What are our thoughts and our words? This is why it's so important to take stock. This is a time to look at that. Otherwise, through this square, we might be feeling again a lot of obsessive, angry thoughts, like blame. This can be very much in the air in this few days. So it's a time to really take stock of that. Otherwise, you might be entering like banters, or again, even having thoughts that are not even real, or it's like the shadow of the mind. Literally, Pluto will highlight always the shadow of the mind and our thinking. And the last one is hijacking a conversation. Yeah, I do this a little bit. This truth addresses the tendency to interrupt and dominate conversations, preventing empathy and connection. It encourages active listening and allowing others to express themselves without interruption, also known as taking over a conversation. So, little things to think about. Are these things that we do in our communication? Because again, Mercury is communication. It's not just mind, it's communication. Good time to maybe put these 4 things into your daily practices. So it is what it is. Release the judgment, positive regards, see the good in everything, regardless of what you think. Stop the blame game. It's not anybody's fault. Take responsibility. And hijacking a conversation. Do we always have to be the ones putting our perspective and dominating our ideas and others? 4 things, beautiful truths. Thank you, Maggie Calder, for this beautiful, for putting this together. Okay, moving on. So yeah, I guess I'm telling you, the Beyond is speaking today quite a bit. So let's let it do that. Oops. So we have now we're going to look at this massive stellium in what it could mean for you. And if you have Taurus, whatever house your Taurus house is, this is going to be kaboom, bing, bang, boom, right? For you. And if you have any of your personal planets between in the last degrees of Taurus, and we're going to say literally from the 20th to 30th degree of Taurus, this is just going to be for you. Could be personal planets, or it could be angles, which is the ascendant, the descendant, the midheaven, or the IC. So either angle or the houses that are in this angle. So 1st house, 4th house, 7th house, and 10th house. Pay attention to this, because something is about to have unexpected events, growth opportunities, and sudden changes, innovation and insights. Abundance and optimism. These are the themes. Emphasis on seeking stability and material well-being. Changes in finances or values. Embrace change. This is what we have to say in this area of life or area where your Taurus house is. Embrace change, take risks, and explore personal growth. And then focus. Oh, I put FOSUK. Focus on, that's funny. Focus on the body. Focus on the body. What is your body telling you? Feel the intuitive pull towards that opportunity. When these things happen, and having still Jupiter there after its conjunction with Uranus, opportunities will knock at your door. And if you're still like this, going like, I don't know if I can do this, what happens is that you might miss an opportunity that is huge right now. So again, pay attention to what's coming in your world. Now we have this this sextile to Neptune. So Jupiter and Neptune are sextiling, and this is quite important as well, this little sextile here, because this is the perfect time to have these opportunities for spiritual growth and intuition. Like I said, if you are connected to your body and you take those 5 to 10 minutes in the morning to do that little meditation that I told you about with the body, feeling into your senses, you might be much more tuned in to feeling what the real guidance of your soul is taking you towards, this expansion and freedom. There might be flashes of like heightened creativity and imagination. And what is imagination if not tapping into that beyond? What is imagination? Where does that live? How do we create things? They always start first as an image. You imagine something you created, then it becomes manifest physical, right? This is a beautiful time for increased compassion and empathy. And as you feel that, this ties back into these 4 principles, because when we have when we see others with compassion and empathy, we stop judging, and that is how we elevate our frequency, right? And then there's the encouragement for a positive and open-minded outlook, and this is where we could be literally embracing all that is. So you see, it all ties in. And if we use this wisdom, our lives can become extremely abundant. When the planets align in such a harmonious way, it's literally saying, come on, you can do it. So the square of Pluto to Mercury is where there's going to be maybe a challenge, because if our thoughts are still aligned in this, like, it's gotta be my ways, what I have to say is my opinions, is my ideas, is if you're still stuck to that, it's going to be very difficult to have this open-mindedness. Now, because there's such a big push from the transpersonal planets, this is just a must. So whether or not we're going to suffer through it is up to us. So again, little pieces of wisdom for you to follow so we don't fall into that. Okay. Now, May 20th, we have the sun entering Gemini, and this is when the energy is going to start also shifting. However, we have also this big Uranus, Venus, and Jupiter conjunction. So the sun moves into Gemini, different energy, but having all this energy, let me see where my Taurus image is. You see, the Taurus is really all about this, is about the pleasure, is about nature, is about abundance, is about the feminine, is about feeling, is the temple of Venus, right? Is all about being slow, being present. And this is why mindfulness and presence is so important at this time. It connects us to a fundamental part of self, which is that yin or feminine energy. That is the receptive. If we're always go, 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 Mars, 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 then we don't allow for things to just appear in front of us. And in mindfulness, you will see that everything is what is, and then you respond. You don't react. we respond to what comes our way by tuning into our internal compass and going, okay, this is where I need to go. This is what I need to do now. Instead of trying to control everything with the mind. So I'm going to see for the Venus Jupiter, and I'm going to read from one of my favorite books, The Archetypal Universe by Ren Butler, the Venus Uranus Jupiter, or Venus Jupiter Uranus. Where is it? Venus. Looking Venus Jupiter Uranus. So on its positive side, we would have positive, fun, and exciting relationships, dramatic social sparkle and charisma, a bright and brilliant sense of color, feelings of joy and exhilaration. Flashy charm, the life of the party, inclusion in exceptionally fun and positive groups, the avant-garde circle of friends, a tendency to attract fun, exciting, and beneficial relationships, love, beauty, or sex as avenues of transcendence, love and friendship as salvation, unexpectedly healing love, relationship quantum leaps, emotional manna from heaven, romantic rebirth and breakthroughs. So at its best, this is where we're going to start releasing a lot of energy if we have been doing our work with all. Astrology always moves in a spiral, and there's like building blocks. If we have followed these building blocks from way back when, we're aligning with our truth, we're connecting with what our soul wants, we're forgiving others, etc., releasing the toxic energies that are no longer representing the being that we want to be, and so on and so forth. What happens is that right now, then when we started balancing the masculine and the feminine and taking ownership of our own life, and we've been doing all this work, what happens is that we will be starting to see this come into our reality at this moment, where these exciting new connections happen, that suddenly there's this like bright, it just feels fun, it's joyful, it's enjoyable, it's the enjoyment of life. And at this moment, what better to do but enjoy life? Go dancing, go have fun, meet with friends, eat good food. Take advantage of that. And if we're still in the I don't deserve mode, I'm not worthy of this is the time to heal that. This is the time to say, I am worthy of all that is, because I am a divine being. And that is just a simple, let's say, truth that I believe to be true. So I speak it as my truth. You don't have to resonate with it, but I do. If we truly believe we are divine, we are the source of all that is, then why would we be below anything? And why would we not have the right to have and enjoy life? Everybody should be able to just have enjoyment of food, of love, of company, of friends. And this is a birthright. So this is what I'm saying. I've spoken. Okay. Now, on the flip side, let's remember that all conjunctions could go in their most positive manifestation, but they could also go in their negative or lower octave. So then this is what we have to be aware of. A tendency toward manic socializing, sudden or passing attractions, addiction to relationship or aesthetic novelty, a beautiful but shallow approach to life. Impulsive romantic excesses, abrupt and passing attractions, manic promiscuity, the desire to find a sugar daddy or mama, fair weather relationships. So because Venus is all around about relationship, this is very important to be aware, because there is such an expansion. And with Jupiter, we want to be careful with everything that expands, because we may have the tendency to overdo it. So a little bit of moderation goes a long way. So we can be enjoying, loving, feeling. But if we're going overboard and then we're not having discernment, we can be getting tangled with things we don't want to get tangled. or we end up in like, raking up your credit card and, oh, I'm just gonna pay it around for everybody. And then, like, that's good. And be discerning of how you're spending your money, be discerning of how much you're engaging or depleting your energy, because as well, when we're connecting to many different people, what happens is our vital energy can be excitable to a certain extent, but we can also get peopled out. So if you're starting to notice, oh, I'm getting peopled out, and you keep pushing, then stop pushing, go retreat, recharge, recharge. And what better place to recharge during this beautiful transit than with your feet on the ground or laying on the grass? If you have a little patch of grass, a little park near where you live, do it. I'm telling you, this is medicine. This is all medicine. Okay, so now we have, like we said, we had the full moon in Sagittarius. This is May 23rd. So we have now Venus will be entering Gemini. So we see what's this at the 29th degree. It will be entering Gemini. So Venus and the Sun will be together. So again, a lot of social interaction, a lot of chit chat, a lot of blah blah, a lot of the desire to talk, share, and communicate is going to be big and bright. Again, very fun time. So the full moon has in stock all of that with it. It also has with it, let me see what else. This, again, Taurus energy, and this is all going to be part of these this vibe. So I think we're going to be able to see I, I get a lot of truth. Truth. What is true for me? And Sagittarius is like, where are you shooting your arrows? This is why it's so important to at this time not get distracted. You see, the thing with the Gemini energy is that it can also promote a lot of distraction. And it doesn't, there's nothing wrong with it, but distractions might get us off course, of our course. And when we find our own truth, this is why we have to be so connected to our intuition, because sometimes we can get a little bit carried away with a lot of things. And the Gemini energy, and once Jupiter moves into it, distractions are going to be everywhere. And I'll talk about that a little bit later with the advent of AI and all that stuff that is growing and expanding. There's nothing wrong with it. It's more like, how do we still stay centered and focus on what is presently here and not too distracted with the mind, with all the possibilities? It could be very overwhelming, the Gemini energy, if we don't know how to handle it or if we don't know how to ground it. So very important during this full moon to be connected, stay connected to where you are shooting your arrows, to what your truth is, because this full moon is also hosted by Jupiter, right? And Jupiter is still here in Taurus. So again, what is expanding? What are we seeing? Where are we seeing the possibilities in our lives open? And this is important to embrace the changes, embrace. Joy connects us back to the divine. So wherever you find true joy, and what I mean with true joy is what makes your heart expand. It's not the hedonistic pleasure. And that's where we have this tricky energy, because you might think that something that gives you joy is more in the hedonistic pleasures, but once they have ended, you're empty. And that is not what we're going for. We're going for the truth. We're going for the joy. We're going for what really expands. And we might be able to see this very clearly during this full moon. And this is kind of like the message I'm getting. Also, the connection of Sun to Neptune can have, which we're having in passing these days as well. The sextile, those sextiles give us an opportunity to connect to something bigger than ourselves, really, to trust in a divine process. And that's why we use the body to connect to the divine. This is our vessel, and this is what we use. Okay, that's again, I'm passing a bit through fast with this, but because we have a lot to talk about. So Taurus energy. Now, May 25th, this is where I'm gonna kind of stop a little bit and look at this entry of Jupiter in Gemini, which Jupiter will be here for about a year in Gemini. So it's a whole new energy, and this right now there is this trine of Pluto to Jupiter, Venus, and the Sun. So in Gemini. So what can happen here? This is kind of very synchronistic, because let me read a little bit of the Jupiter Venus trine Pluto. Jupiter Venus Pluto. Where is my Jupiter Venus Pluto? Jupiter, this is Venus. Venus, Jupiter Pluto. Venus, Jupiter Pluto. A primal and charming charisma, a broad and deep capacity to love, an overwhelming creative abundance, an enjoyment of grand and intense forms of art, a primal and charming charisma. So waves of deep passion and healing, partnerships devoted to healing and transformation, a capacity to bring love and grace to those in intense crisis or process, a deep and expansive beauty, an empowered or regal beauty, the beautiful queen, creative abundance, a resonance with Dionysian art forms, a profound appreciation of beauty and art. So it's interesting because there is two tendencies happening right now. And Pluto can also show, of course, the shadows of Aquarius, which are the shadows in technology and are the in all our technological advancements. These are the shadows also of groups, and the shadows potentially also of of society, basically at large, of the fabric of society. So that's what Pluto will be and has been revealing. And I found it very interesting that we have this push of energy that wants to transform us, that wants to move relationship to another level. And Gemini, it's again the sign of the mind, is a sign of Mercury. Is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is the messenger, is the connectivity, is the connective tissue of all that is the internet of all that is. And sure enough, in just this week, just yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, they announced this new version of ChatGPT, which is ChatGPT Sora. Not Sora, that's the video, but we'll talk about that. Yeah, before I go into that, I wanted to share the image for Gemini. And this is interesting because this is, speaking of art, this is before there was AI. I was, I used digital art as part of my way of expressing ideas. And I had created this image with a lot of effort and input and thought, and it's digital. So yes, it's part of that Venus, Venus Uranus, where, Venus Uranus, I have a natal Venus Uranus. So it's also this, we love technology and art. It's part of it. So obviously I am a digital artist and I use a lot of digital art in my work. And now with these new tools that we're getting, even music and everything, it's now given to this AI, which we will talk about a little bit later. But back to the Gemini energy. Oh, you see, I'm getting distracted. Gemini energy. The Gemini energy that we're entering is the realm, you see, of air. These twins, the twins really represent all aspects of selves, because there's the light, there's the dark, there's everything that is, and all the possibilities. Nothing really is something unless the mind makes something of it. This is why, is it an apple? Is it a pear? This is language. Is it a cat? Is it a dog? What is it? What is it? It's curiosity. It's the quintessential curiosity of life. It's naming the world to create mental concepts so we can communicate. So now that we're entering this communication thing, I wanted to mention this, this thing about this new, AI systems and of communication. Basically, and I'm learning Japanese right now. And I was so excited with this Duolingo. Okay, I'm gonna learn Japanese so I can, when I go to Japan, I'm gonna be able to say some things. And then suddenly there's this obviously translators that already exist, but then with this new Chat GPT 4.0 or something like that, you literally have this like virtual assistant that speaks like a human, can read anything, translate anything in real time. And when they showed the demo on their website, it's just this on the spot, it's like having a conversation with a person. And then they had this model tutor like solve a math problem, but not solve it, but help the person by looking at the page, what they've written, help the person solve this math problem like a tutor would do, with kindness and gentleness and patience and all knowing. And I'm like, oh my lordy lord. And this just was just announced 2 weeks ago. It's probably not yet all over the planet. No, people might not know of it because when there's a release, you know. And then interestingly enough, there's Google with its new thing, Gemini. Google called their whole AI world Gemini. It's like, what are the odds? And with Jupiter moving into Gemini, we're only going to see more of this. And that is what is happening. Can we stop it? I don't think so. It's just happening. What part of it we do embrace, we embrace is what's important, is what are we embracing from this? And how are we using this energy and focus this energy for something positive? Because this can mean also massive distraction and now massive deception. Because if you have already like this AI are like people, and it's like, I don't know if you've seen also the AI music. I've been playing a little bit with it. Again, me, art and technology. But how much is too much? You know, how do we use these tools positively and not let them take over us? And this is kind of the world we're living in. So a little bit more on the Venus and Jupiter. So there will be definitely increased harmony and positivity and abundance, opportunities for love, romance, and financial growth, boost in confidence, optimism, and sociability, favorable for enhancing relationships, attracting good fortune, and pursuing creative endeavors. And that is if we use that energy of the mind properly. Because remember, there are two ways, and this is why I talk about AI and this large language models, which is kind of like this. I'm gonna make myself small. Again, these images are made with AI, and I'm not gonna lie about any of this ever. I use them to illustrate certain things. I still believe my little Gemini is better. I'm not joking. But this is how I see this new web of information. There's two ways of perceiving it. Either there's the internet and the unseen waves, which is Jupiter in Gemini will be expanding all our capacity for communication. And you see this now, you get an app, you go to any country, you go and say something, you go blip blip, then the thing speaks, and then you speak back to it. It already exists, but now apparently it's like real time conversation. It's so fast. Now there's a different type of communication and expansion, and this is the one I'm most interested in. And if you have not ever seen Alex Ferrari's podcast, Next Level Soul, I recommend you go and see some of that. But there was the latest talk he posted with Robert Edward Grant. I recommend you go and watch that. It's absolutely mind-blowing because it speaks to this, to what I'm more interested in the higher octaves of consciousness and mind. Because when we talk Gemini as well, we talk communication, we talk mind, and we talk also the invisible, like Aquarius, right? But we have also Pluto in Aquarius. So as we expand our mind can our curiosity, which is also part of the Gemini feature, is what's beyond, what's next, what's new. Let's have new ideas, especially with Uranus. You know, after that conjunction of the Jupiter Uranus, there's Jupiter has been like infused with this Uranian energy, with this change, And as you see, our world is changing. Yes, there's this AI, these are these large language models, but we have also the wisdom of our divine temple is the energy. So today I was thinking, okay, fair enough. I'm learning Japanese. I could learn languages. I speak several languages, and yes, they're useful, but the language I don't know yet how to speak properly. I'm really not really good at it yet. Is the language of frequency and vibration. How to identify an imprint. And I do that, I have abilities that allow me to feel imprints, but there's so much to learn. It's literally a language. How do like extraterrestrial communicate, for instance? Through frequencies. I don't know if you've ever had ringing in your ears and like tunes like that go beep, boop. I've had that a lot, and that started like in about 2017. And apparently, and this is where I'm gonna go beyond, okay? So if you're not into woo-woo or whatever, take it with a grain of salt, or pause the video and move further. But if you're here, chances are you are into this and you understand this, so I'll keep going. So communication with other beings happens through tone, through frequency. It's almost like a syllable or a vowel. It's putting together tones to create language, and then you understand that as a concept, and the concept creates mind, and the mind, that's how it works. But in these higher dimensional fields, means like a bunch of things, right? So it's kind of learning these new languages very fast because it has more data. And with Jupiter in Gemini, we're starting to expand data. So yes, we can expand data as in artificial intelligence becoming more sentient and giving us the capacity to access all knowledge like this, all capacities. But then what about the human capacity to do that? So this is where I question, how much are we going to be reliant on these new technologies, and how much could we get interested in the physical body or spiritual technology? It's like, wait a minute, if I could really become really good at telepathy and really good at perceiving imprints and really good at the subtle energies, this is what's coming. And this is what I predict will be coming more and more into our awareness. But it just depends on where we situate ourselves at the level of frequency. Are we going to be able to connect to each other through these webs, these filaments of light energy, and decode each filament as what it is, as information? So you see, an internet works as bits, and ones and zeros, and then quantum computing, let's not even go there, works even more different, and chances are we're going to have giant leaps in quantum computing and the capacity to expand all that. And there are two worlds forming, and there's one world where we will be accessing all of that divine consciousness and being able to transform matter if we learn how to do it. And I think this is why a lot of places now there's many people speaking about this, because we start cracking the matrix. We start seeing that everything that we think to be real, it is solid, but it's not really solid. It's all atoms and energy. And we know this, and you know this. And if you don't know it, now you know it, and you can go and research more. So this is why I go and hear that talk with Alex Ferrari. It's phenomenal. I'll post, if I can, I'll post a link below. And I'm not like endorsing this because of anything. I wish I could meet Alex Ferrari one day and all these fabulous people. But anyway, back to us. So this is the energy that I'm perceiving, this kind of connectivity where the cosmic intelligence, the cosmic higher mind, which is Uranus, suddenly gets activated and expanded with Jupiter, and this explodes. Now I'm going to show a little bit of these are YouTube video titles, like these are thumbnails I find on YouTube precisely, and we can see when was this. Oh, I didn't get the actual date, but I captured these images yesterday, so they're from like literally 3 days ago. So ChatGPT 4.0, bigger than you think, and this is a great video, by the way, by David Shapiro. This is by Matt Wolf. It feels human. ChatGPT's amazing new models feels human, and it's free. So there's something really interesting about even about this title, because remember Uranus wants to. It's interesting. It's about the people and the connectivity of people. And this apparently Sam Altman from OpenAI say, well, we want these models. I mean, or the people from OpenAI. I heard this in one of these videos. It's like we want this to be free for everybody. Everybody should be able to access this knowledge. So this is where this is available, and this is good for humanity if we are responsible. And this is where Pluto comes into play. Pluto's going to show us a lot of the dark side of having the excess in technology, or the dehumanization, which is what could happen. Is like, is this new Chat GPT with this voice of a girl, is a human, but it feels human, but it's not human. Then what is a human? Are we also just these avatars? You see, there's this like, you know, thing going on in our world, and it's real. It's here. It is here. It's not like science fiction anymore. It is here. And they talked about this movie with Scarlett Johansson. Um, I don't remember the name of it. And I also remember this other movie, Sim One or Simone, which was a sci-fi movie, also again about this AI, all sentient computer that could talk, and it was this woman, and this guy falls in love with her, and it's all that stuff, right? And it's like, oh my God, now these kinds of things can be here now, because who knows? Do you think people might want to have an AI girlfriend, because the people that are very isolated, that don't know how to create real human contact, might prefer that? And these are all along the realms of the shadow. But again, if we go back to our first principle of it is what it is, then it is what it is. And we have the capacity to choose what we want in our world. So I choose my reality, and I accept the other realities, not judge them, not criticize them, not condemn them. We can see them as what they are, and then choose whether or not we want that, or in what capacity we want it, And that's the difference between condemning, blaming, and putting hate speech and hate stuff to these things. It's not about that. It's about just seeing this is emerging, and all of it is consciousness. It all came from somewhere. Even artificial intelligence came from, but from humans putting all their knowledge into these machines, and it came from somewhere human at first, right? Again, these are very deep philosophical debates that we will be entering into for the next however long, and we can get really lost in this particular rabbit hole. So I would caution anybody to get too lost in this rabbit hole. Just, again, temperance, use your discernment. Virgo. Yeah, this is like even little shorts. Google's text to video AI will blow your mind. And again, if you have not seen the Sora or on the Google one, it's like they're everywhere now. AI made my dance video. So you see, like, okay, what's the point of being in TikTok now? Like putting your own videos of expressing yourself, if AI can do everything and it'll do it better, And this is where the shadow of the dehumanization of humanity comes in. I think we gotta stay human and go to the next level of human. This is where the shadow is. This is my personal opinion. Photoshop's AI new feature changing the game, so now photos can change. Everything can be anything, and we can get very distracted and lost in all of that. So with this being said, I've done my little rant around what I think is coming, what actually is coming, and how to go about it with more wisdom. And enjoy this time. Connect to others. This is the time to really be more human, I believe, and to be more connected to each other and love each other even more, because this is what's going to make us elevate our frequency, to stay in high vibrations, and to be able to access the amazing capacities of the human, And I will be giving you more on that every single time. So little exercises to do, your little meditations every day, grounding as usual, and these four noble truths that you might be able to use in your daily life. And hopefully that gives you some peace of mind, some love. I hope this guidance helped you. And again, if you feel you want a reading with me, 33% off until the end of May if you book within these next 2 weeks. All right. Even if you're going to have the session later because I'm quite busy, but if you book within this next 2 weeks, then I will honor the 33% for any of my readings. Exciting. Have a wonderful, joyful, pleasurable rest of 2 weeks of May. See you in the next video. Bye.